Hi guys, welcome to the Niels van Roij Design channel and welcome to the brand new Range Rover number 5 in a lineup of big SUVs. In this video we're taking you through the entire car, exterior design, interior design, and I'll tell you what I as a car designer think of this 5th iteration of the Range Rover.
Introducing the new Range Rover. Breathtaking modernity, peerless refinement, and unmatched capability, informed by more than 50 years of evolution.
The first 20 seconds of this video, and you see that the brand utterly understands where it stands for. There is no bullshit bingo like at Mercedes-Benz introduction videos. Let me be just very plain and simple about this. It's simple, it's clean, and it's an honest story. Beautiful music, well shot, and at first glance at least, a great piece of car design. The first 20 seconds are nailed. Very well done to the editor of the film, the director, and the ones that came up with this. Again, compare it to an introduction of Mercedes-Benz, where an awful lot of stuff is being drawn in and famous people have all their say about a fantastic new Mercedes, blah de blah. Let the car do the talking in the environment where it's driven. It's very simple, but apparently not very much so for quite a few manufacturers. But Land Rover and Range Rover clearly understand how it's done.
The modernist design philosophy doesn't follow fashion or trend. It's free from superfluous detail, yet is full of charm.
Again, it's the honest story. Looking at the car, of course, the Range Rover public is not overly keen on pushing the recipe very hard, and that's fine. If this is what it is they are after, then that's what it is they are after. They want a Range Rover. So the proportional statement of the car, the side view, the outline so to speak, that is what we've learned to love or perhaps hate if you dislike the Range Rover as a recipe, as a typology. But within that frame, it is very well executed. We've got this formal straight up front end. We've got a long bonnet, and then we've got on top of that a cabin with a visually floating roof, which on the new Range Rover is cleaned up even more. Once I'll have a Range Rover that I can actually physically walk around, I'll do a video as well on that. But I think in this short video they will show how clean the car actually is. So it has no moldings, no rubbers, let's say, on top of the shoulder line where the glass meets the door. That in itself is already, it's a massive amount of work for engineering and for design to push that through. The side glass is entirely clean. It's very pure in its shape and form. And sure, the front end could maybe have been a little bit more provocative, let's say, push a little bit harder, because to some it might look like a facelift of the outgoing car, the L405 Range Rover, or perhaps like a Range Rover that has been a bit more velarde, if you like. So the Range Rover Velar has this clean front end as well, and the integration of the headlight graphics and the grille graphic. But having said that, that's literally, it's honestly the only negative thing I have to say about this car. It's just so well done. And even that front end, it's just because I'm searching for something to say, if you like. In this video, hopefully you will see the car in all sorts of different angles, but you'll know that the front end is clean of all this sort of radar and parking sensors and all the kind of stuff that has to be in cars. And here I'm looking at Audi. they just, like it's a police car basically, put these massive chunks of radar unit in their grille, in their single frame grille. It's like putting them on your logo. It's horrendous. And here it's all cleaned up, and it's so hard to make a car clean like this. And they've managed to do it at Range Rover Design, which is truly a statement of having things under control. So let's see it driving a bit more, but there's so much to say about this new Range Rover, and honestly, it's all positive.
Defined by harmony of proportions, reductive surfaces and precise lines.
Listen to what she has to say, because it's the honest story. It is an exercise in reduction, and it's so refreshing to finally see a video that doesn't have all these fancy buzzwords, but it's just telling the honest story. This is what we've done. It's an exercise in reduction, and we try to minimize the amount of shut lines and interference, because if you look at the Range Rover, what it always has been is a clean car, so we try to clean it up even more. Why not just tell it like it is? Because that's what it is. And it would have been so refreshing if a lot of these other manufacturers, mainly German manufacturers, have an issue with that, would take away all the nonsense in their videos and would just tell the honest story about the design of their cars. Of course, the rear end is most progressive, most advanced, if you like, of the entire design. And you could almost argue that if you move from the front end over the side towards the rear of the car gets increasingly progressive towards the rear. So, like I said, that front end graphic with the nose, the grille, is something we learned to recognize as Range Rover, and it's lovely and it's well proportioned, and it's definitely very different from the car it's replacing, although it might not look like that at first glance, but the proportions are quite different. The clamshell hood, so the bonnet, is not as heavy, not as big, horizontally, more horizontally orientated than vertically orientated. And that already gives a whole different dimension, let's say, to that front end. But having said that, that side, which is even more clean, or actually a lot more clean than the current car, which has quite a bit of ornamentation, it's a bit more baroque in its approach, and they just have been taking things away. Instead of adding more lines and adding bling like Mercedes-Benz, for instance, is doing with even more chrome, and this one is more luxurious, so we put, it's like a paint bucket of chrome on the entire grille and front end of these cars. No, Range Rover is doing the opposite. It's cleaning it up. It's an exercise in reduction. And sure, like I said, the front end is maybe pushing least of all the sides of the car. And if you move from the front towards the side of the car and then towards the rear, you move towards a more progressive design, basically. But again, here it's the recipe of the classic Range Rover, with taillights that are standing up straight. In this case, there's a black bar in which the Range Rover font is integrated, and also the indicators. And it's also a sort of a bow tail kind of section where the entire rear end is being taken in, a bit like a tailor-made suit around the rear wheels. It narrows and gives the car this lovely flow of lines. And then the chrome element that, let's say, used to be on top of the license plate emboss is now moved down. And there's this lovely little bit of light catching going on. So there's this bit of sculpture taken out of the chrome element, catching the light. And it's also the shot line of the split tailgate, which is so typical for a Range Rover. And that's it. But it's so difficult to do this well and to do it right, and to push hard enough to make it a new car, and to not push too hard and alienate people. And they just nailed it. They nailed it. It just makes me so happy to see that there is still all this talent out there. And of course, it's not just at Land Rover, Range Rover, but it is definitely present there. They really, really do an awesome job.
The falling roofline, strong waistline, and lower rising sill. Digital LED headlights with signature light graphic are truly distinctive, as is the formal front end. Flush elements and tight tolerances.
So here we see that clamshell hood, which has been rounded off at the corners a bit. I really honestly liked the sort of corners that were standing up straight. We did a video on the classic Range Rover next to Adventum Coupe or coach built car based on the previous Range Rover, and it had these lovely corners of the clamshell bonnet. These are gone here, but I understand, and they're sort of integrated in the flow of lines that come from the grille upwards. The headlight graphic is similar but quite different compared to the now outgoing model, and the detail in the grille, and especially the lower grille in which all these driving radars and sensors are integrated, it's just lovely. And there's these tiny little bit of light catches left and right on top of that lower graphic, so the lower intake, only tiny bit, only left and right. It's not running through from left to right, but it's on both sides, right under, let's say, the headlights. Yeah, it's just perfection. It's just spot on what it has to be. And then they've designed this whole range in interesting, fresh colors and materials to make your car a bit more sporty or to make your car a bit more luxurious. And this is, let's say, the normal Range Rover, but then there's a bit more of a sinister, let's say, sportier color and trim, and then for mainly, for instance, the long wheelbase car, you've got these copper, rose gold almost kind of inserts to the grille, and even the roof can be painted in that color.
Are delivered through design-enabling technologies that give a honed from solid appearance. They include flush glazing, a hidden waist rail finisher, and seamless laser-welded roof joints. The rear is defined by vertical tail lights which stay hidden until lit. Precise detailing takes Land Rover's design philosophy to new levels of emotional engagement. With beautifully designed 23-inch alloy wheels.
All right, so now they're zooming in on this graphical element on the door. I would say that's my only piece of criticism I have on the design, which I'm quite strong about. They should have left it. Take it off. Be bold enough and go for this complete reduction. And sure, it's now flush to the surface of the door, but if you really want this graphic on the side of the car, which is a good reason to do it, I would have loved to see that on the front fender, and it should have been an air vent, outtake, whatever you want to call it, but it should have function. And now it's purely decorative, just like it was on the L405, and it should have been like it was on the car before that, the L322, which actually had fender vents, and they were on par, they were fantastic. And that car obviously took Range Rover from just a luxury SUV to up there with the S-Class at the time in the 7 Series, and really a magnificent piece of design that was, and that really push Range Rover into a space of ultra luxury rather than just a nice big luxury SUV with some leather. That was an utter fantastic piece of design that pushed Range Rover into the space where it now is, and because of that, Evoque could be born and Velar could have been created. So that L322 was a very, very significant car for the brand. If you follow that shut line of the clamshell bonnet over the door, front door, rear door, and then rear fender, and then at the end there's this lovely piece of sculpture, because of course now that line cannot be running through to the rear end anymore like it used to do on basically every single iteration of the Range Rover. So they broke with that continuous flow of line, but it's totally forgivable. It's not a bad thing to sometimes break with certain elements of brand DNA, because it's a subtle brake, and there's this lovely bit of inlay, bit of sculpture on the rear fender there, and then there's this facette that now encapsulates the entire rear end. So that's the tail lights and the front end and the lower end of the two-part tailgate. So that's all fantastic. It's just I would have loved to see more reduction even on the side, and remove that, let's call it fake intake, and either completely remove it or push it on the fender where it actually could have been functional as well.
The first time on a Range Rover. While the panoramic roof bathes the interior in natural light. The interior provides a stress-free and harmonious environment.
Here as well, I mean, again this reduction, but beautiful sculpture in everything. Look at the finishing of the side of the dashboard. So imagine you open the door and you look into your cabin, and normally you see this basically usually ugly piece of plastic, the side of the dashboard, but there they've just beautifully finished the dashboard left and right with this metal, chrome, polished aluminum, I don't know what it is, but this side, which then translates also to the steering wheel and to the stalks of the indicators that you can see right behind the steering wheel, and the flappy pedals of the gearbox. And talking about the gearbox, there's now, rather than the rotary switch that they used to have, just like Jaguars used to have them, there's now a real more, let's say, traditional gear lever, but fortunately there is also switch gear. You can see different types of switch gear. Sure, there's a touchscreen. You can't work around a touchscreen anymore. There is so much functionality in the car. There have to be some form of touchscreen inside any modern car, but Range Rover has integrated lovely switch gear, beautifully finished on the center stack underneath that touchscreen, as you can see, but also on the left hand side on the door. Look at the love for detail in there. Look at how beautifully it's finished, how nice the stitch lines are running into the other pieces of sculpture that this interior is. I mean, it's magnificent work. It's really well done. You know, it's refreshing for me to be positive once in a review, and you know, you can just see the team came together here and they really nailed it.
Everywhere you look and everything you touch reinforces the feeling that no detail has been overlooked. Including a curved glass floating 13.1-inch touchscreen with haptic controls.
I just want to point out, do you see how the exterior of black A pillar, B pillar, C pillar, D pillar is mimicked, is carried over towards the interior? So the glass line is entirely black. You've got this light, in this case light headliner, and the lower end of the interior is this almost white, off-white cream leather, but there's this blackness surrounding you around the daylight opening, the DLO, the glass surfaces. And just look at the amount of beautiful but toned back sculpture. Again, I have to think of this introduction of the S-Class and then the Maybach, Mercedes Maybach S-Class, with all these horrendous lights in pink and red. I mean, it's like the red light district in Amsterdam. It's not upper class. It's, you know, it's the opposite of it. And here you have this tranquility, this clean, friendly, approachable interior that is actually high class. Because if you have such a busy life, you can afford yourself a Range Rover. You don't want, massive screens blaring in your face and decorative lighting in every single switch and whatever, moods lighting that is going from purple to orange to light blue and green. You want peace and calm in your sanctuary, in your interior. Whether you're driving it, whether you're sitting in the back, it doesn't matter.
You can choose from 4 or 5 seats. Or another Range Rover First, 7 seats. Natural luxury textiles are now available. Kvadrat and Ultra fabrics add new heights of sustainability and demonstrate exemplary levels of craft and comfort. This combination of aesthetics with ethics creates a beautiful, harmonious interior that embodies true modern luxury. The new Range Rover is quite simply the most desirable ever created. Serene and agile, the new Range Rover is engineered for comfort at every turn. A new bespoke architecture is stronger than ever for an unrivaled breadth of capability on and off-road. New multi-link rear suspension is designed for comfort and control. A smooth and responsive 8-speed automatic gearbox with high and low range combines new levels of refinement with optimized efficiency. New Range Rover features the most sophisticated chassis technology of any vehicle. Its brain is the integrated chassis control system. It monitors the road up to 2.5 kilometers ahead, and the active systems prepare for corners by using navigation and speed data. It can also lower the suspension at speed to maximize aerodynamics and efficiency. Poise and control when cornering are delivered by a powerful electronic active roll control system called Dynamic Response Pro. Range Rover's renowned ride quality reaches a new level with twin-valve dampers. More responsive than ever, they deliver consistent comfort. Stability and control when cornering is further improved by torque vectoring by braking. Intelligent all-wheel drive is smarter and more capable than ever, providing torque exactly where it's needed for optimal grip. These technologies combine to eliminate noise and vibrations for comfortable, calm, and composed travel. Land Rover has always defined all-terrain capability. A wading depth of up to 900 millimeters helps deliver the best possible off-road performance. Sensors in the wing mirrors detect the depth of the water and display all the relevant information on the screen before you. The vehicle's off-road geometry ensures you can tackle inclines of up to 45 degrees. The award-winning and patented Terrain Response 2 system automatically detects, selects, and deploys the optimum vehicle settings. Alternatively, you can manually choose one of the 6 programs for different terrains. And with configurable terrain response, you can fine-tune the settings. All-terrain progress control allows you to maintain a fixed speed so you can focus on steering. Vision and awareness are optimized with clear sight ground view. With it, you can effectively see through the bonnet to assist in avoiding obstacles. Know what potential hazards you might face with a 3D surround camera that enables you to see around the vehicle. Maneuver lights illuminate the ground for even greater visibility in low light. All-wheel steering provides superior high-speed stability with enhanced low-speed agility. The rear wheels turn up to 7 degrees in the opposite direction to the front wheels to help deliver a turning circle of under 11 meters. This is the most maneuverable Range Rover ever. The new Range Rover SV is an exquisite interpretation of Range Rover luxury and personalization. Both standard and long wheelbase models can be tailored to suit your needs, and there are 2 new exterior and interior themes available: SV Serenity, which epitomizes pure luxury, and SV Intrepid, with its focus on heightened dynamism. A hand-finished ceramic white and black SV Roundel adds another exclusive touch, encapsulating the distinction that SV stands for. Unique SV elements include the stunning grille design and front bumper, together with exclusive metal-plated exterior elements and accents, and optional 23-inch directional wheels color match to your selected exterior theme.
There is so much positive stuff to say, I don't know where to start. But the color and material team at Range Rover, they really understand their job. I mean, it's just fantastic to see, because it can go completely wrong there. You know, the design is one thing, but then the colors and materials of the design and selecting the different typologies that a Range Rover can be, if you like. There is the driver that wants a bit more sportiness. There is the driver that just wants a normal, let's say, plain simple Range Rover, and there's one that really wants to push more for the luxury. And it's very much refreshed. You know, it's not just your average silver or chrome grille, and that's about it. The chrome that has been applied has been very tastefully applied. The black rocker panel, let's say, so the lower sill element that sweeps up towards the rear, is decorated with the tiniest little bit of tasteful chrome, very well applied. And it's hardly even visible. The only thing it does is just catching the light and takes the eye towards the rear wheel from the front wheel, let's say, right? So over that black sill. And the same goes for the front end. There's beautiful, intricate detail on that grille. It's not just a massive slab of chrome like Mercedes Maybach is doing now. And even on the more luxurious Serenity, you see, of course, there's a bit more chrome on the lower grille, but it's fine detail. There's nice sculpture in there, and it's not just chrome. There's something going on with the colors around it. There's this, like I said, sort of rose gold, copperish kind of application. Very tasteful and very helpful to steer that Range Rover, which is sort of a blank canvas, into different directions for each and every client.
13.1-inch rear seat entertainment screens are exclusive to SV. Enhanced SV headphones enable the ultimate cinema experience. And everyone in the second row benefits from wireless charging, so they always stay connected. SV long wheelbase also includes an optional 4-seat signature suite, which provides the most luxurious environment, including a fixed rear full-length center console trimmed in leather. Electrically deployable club table with integrated stowage and sculptured arm, and electrically deployable cup holders, which bear testimony to our craftsmanship and choice of sublime materials. This sense is further heightened by such features as the illuminated rear console fridge with electrically deployable door and SV branded Dartington glassware. You'll see individuality in everything, from embroidery and perforation.
Let me just quickly stop it here at the embroidery, because again, their new color and materials is pushing it. There's beautiful touches of metal throughout the interior, but then there's also, rather than just doing quilted leather, like, I don't want to call the brand again, but some German brand, it's always the same. But this is looking into how can we make it more interesting. Bentley is doing this as well, you know, especially with the Mulliner specs of their interiors. Beautiful embroidery, and not just nice, but something fresh, a new pattern, recognizable, and only done and only executed that way by that specific brand. So just like you should recognize a car if you take just a bit of its surfacing, like a bit of the bonnet or a fender or a door, and you should say, but that's an Audi or a BMW or a Range Rover in this case. You should do the same, or should be able to do the same at least, with the interior, with materials, with colors, with patterns, and with stitching. And another great example of the color and material people truly knowing what it's all about.
To the mosaic marquetry, artwork.
I have to pause this film like 20 times. This fresh interpretation of the wood, new patterns, marquetry. This is Rolls-Royce levels of craftsmanship in a Range Rover, and it's logical because obviously there's now the Bentayga from Bentley and there's the Cullinan from Rolls-Royce, so they're trying obviously to push the Range Rover even higher up, which it sits very well, and in all honesty this would be my choice, full stop. Exterior, interior, design-wise, proportion, surfacing, jewelry, spot on.
Graphics and inlays. For the first time, Windsor leather is extended throughout the cabin on all leather-based interiors. Or you can opt for a tailored SV near aniline super soft grade of leather. A raft of touches such as white or satin black ceramic controls, including the gear shift, armrest adjusters and dial.
Again, the first, ceramics. And on everything that's important. And the things that some brands would easily forget, the armrest adjusters. To have them in a material that is nice to the touch, which is not leather, so it's either leather or plastic these days. Nobody's actually thinking about it. What would be nice to the touch? Ceramic is. It's beautiful. It has a very special, high quality feel to it. And they've now applied it, as far as I know, for the very first time in a car. Maybe a Rolls-Royce behind the gallery, as it's called, so the glass dashboard of the Phantom. You can commission artworks to go behind that. Great concept, by the way, but that's a whole different story. It's behind glass there. I don't think there is any manufacturer, but please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, that has applied ceramics to a mass production car on the surfaces which are important when it comes to their tactile properties. Range Rover does it.
Surrounds add exemplary levels of tactility. You can readily customize the interior. There's a choice of 5 seats in both long and standard wheelbase, or 4-seat signature suite in long wheelbase. Range Rover SV, it's luxury you can touch as well as see. Our range of pet products has plenty to keep them comfortable, hydrated, clean, and when they're ready, help get them back into the vehicle with the least fuss. With its premium leather cushions, additional speakers, dedicated lighting, and ability to control media through your phone, the Tailgate Event Suite creates the perfect vantage point for outdoor relaxation. Simply approach the new Range Rover to engage the flush deployable door handles. Power-assisted doors make life that bit easier. Heat or cool the vehicle remotely with cabin preconditioning, available via the InControl remote app.
Let me quickly pause the video here. What is also very well done is the stance of the car. So the way it sits on its wheels, and you might think, yeah, well, it's because of the big wheels, but it's not just because of that. You can put big wheels underneath the car and it still looks weird and unpleasant. It truly is a way of, it's fine-tuning everything that a car is, its length, its width, its height, and all different proportions of the volumes. So the way the body comes out around the wheels and then goes back again towards the side, and the way it does that also in plan view, so looking from the top, but also cutting it through, let's say. So if you would open the door and you look at the side of the door, the way the body rolls underneath the car, specifically around the lower edge, of course, of the car, around the sill, so you can look into the tire a bit. And that's a lot better compared to the outgoing model, because that had a bit of the sort of overbite, if you like, where the body was biting over the wheels. The wheels were too much inside, the track was too narrow, whatever you want to call it. It had sort of the camper vibe, if you know what I mean, where the body really hangs over the wheels, and this car does that a lot better from all different perspectives. So front 3/4, rear 3/4, and whatever way you would look around the car, from a high perspective or a low perspective, like this shot, it really sits well in its wheels.
Exceptional towing performance has always been in our vehicle's DNA, and with up to a 3,500 kilogram towing weight, outstanding new Range Rover capability is a given. Hitch Assist helps you reverse onto your trailer with ease, and its electrically deployable tow bar makes it a refined and secure tow vehicle. Advanced Tow Assist helps you steer when you reverse with a connected trailer. Unique accessory wheels add to the vehicle's overall appeal. Automatic electrically deployable side steps make getting in and out easier, and loading and unloading roof accessories stress-free. Crossbars are easy to fit, eliminating the need for roof rails, and can support a range of roof-carrying accessories.
In this view, the plan view, so from the top, it's very easy to see how right behind the rear wheels this body is tapering significantly inwards. Compare the mass of black, if you like, so the glass of the front window towards the in the back, and you can see how much that car is tapering and taken inwards. So the rear end looks a bit more pleasant. Basically, it's more of a sculpture rather than just a box. And people might say, you know, it's this easy thing to say, the new Range Rover is just a box, but it's definitely not. It's a magnificent piece of sculpture. It's as simple as that. You can see the nice highlight on the shoulder line as well, going from the bonnet up until the doors, and then from the doors all the way towards the back, where you can see again it's tapering inwards, and then it forms the boot lid. It's just helpful, this view, to show how much sculpture a modern car like the Range Rover has.
A roof box readily holds your luggage. A ski and snowboard carrier keeps your equipment secure, and this wheel-mounted cycle carrier is also available. A dash cam features full HD front and rear video cameras, which can also be set to record should your vehicle be approached while parked. For ultimate convenience, park and maneuver your vehicle from the outside with remote park assist. To load the vehicle, simply move your foot under one of the sensors and the tailgate opens. The split tailgate and automatic suspension lowering make it even easier. The auto-folding load space cover and versatile load space floor add new levels of convenience. The pioneering cabin air purification pro system takes interior air quality to the next level. PM 2.5 filtration and NanoX technology help to significantly reduce odors, bacteria, and allergens, including the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Full-color head-up display features high-definition graphics to put relevant information in front of you, reducing distractions from the road ahead. Synonymous with Range Rover, the peerless command driving position guarantees greater driver visibility and overall confidence. Comfortable, effortless driving is supported by advanced driver assistance systems. Adaptive cruise control with steering assist helps maintain lane placement and is able to set a cruising speed that adapts to other vehicles. Occupant Protection Assist identifies any potential oncoming collision and prepares the cabin for any such occurrence with additional protection for occupants. While Driver Condition Response warns the driver should they become unresponsive and can even help bring the vehicle to a controlled stop. Designed specifically for new Range Rover to provide the quietest possible driving experience, Next generation active noise cancellation is a world first. It monitors sources of noise before they reach the cabin and generates a bespoke noise cancellation signal for each occupant, played through the Meridian signature sound headrest speakers.
So, again, it's a showcase of the brand understanding itself. Why are we building cars? But also its customers. Why are our customers actually buying our cars in the first place? Obviously, the Range Rover brand has changed. It has moved up market. Since the first car and the second car, especially the third car, the L322, was pushing Range Rover up market even more, and then of course the now outgoing model, the L405, maintained that place, but now they're pushing hard again to go upwards even further towards Rolls-Royce and Bentley basically. But then they're asking themselves, why would you buy a Range Rover rather than any other high-end SUV even? Urus is obviously in the same sort of pool of clients, and those who are let's say not overly childish and buy an Urus, the other type of people, they want to be at peace when they're driving their car. So this noise cancellation work, I think there are over 30 speakers if I'm correctly remembering this, but over 30 speakers that are helping to cancel the noise on one end and improve obviously the sound quality of the car on the other when you're playing your favorite songs. So the video shows that the brand is understanding it completely. The way it's shot, the way it's edited, the colors, the music that was written for this piece. This entire video oozes that the brand is comfortable with what it is and knows how to communicate that.
And with executive class rear seats, an 8-inch rear seat touchscreen controller and two 11.4-inch touchscreens for entertainment, everyone will feel truly at home. Pivi Pro infotainment is always on, always connected, and thanks to software over the air, always up to date. You can intuitively control the vehicle's systems and latest technology through a curved, floating 13.1-inch touchscreen with haptic controls, providing new levels of visual sophistication and tactility. Wireless charging and wireless Apple CarPlay delivers seamless connectivity. With clear sight interior rear view, you can see through objects in the rear of the vehicle, enhancing visibility. The new Meridian signature sound system, with its 35 speakers and 1600-watt digital amplifier, lets you feel your music like never before. With so many things to see and touch, every journey in the new Range Rover is an occasion. Digital LED headlights illuminate the way ahead, seemingly bending around corners for enhanced visibility. And adaptive front lighting helps minimize dazzling of oncoming traffic by detecting up to 16 individual objects on the road. Another world first.
Alexa, welcome me home.
Built-in Amazon Alexa with Land Rover remote skills makes life even easier and more connected. It's seamlessly integrated with new Range Rover, and you can even control smart devices at home. Introducing the new Range Rover. It leads by example.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to finish the video, it absolutely does. Well done to the Land Rover, Range Rover design team. Just a fantastic piece of automotive design. It has to be said. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think about the new Range Rover in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next video. Cheers.